G'day and welcome back to another DB Legends video. In this video we're going to be taking a look at the fierce fight for the Blue Super Saiyan Gohan from the BoJack movie. And basically, yeah, it's a fierce fight for Super Saiyan Gohan, Galactic Youth or Gohan Youth, obviously from the BoJack movie. And as you guys should know by now, fierce fights are pretty straightforward. We'll run through the process so that you guys are completely up to speed. Please be aware that you can get Gohan from the Hyperdimensional Carp, which is also currently available as well. So the Hyperdimensional Carp is a great way to farm his Z power. However, a full power battle will also be coming out later on. So you don't have to basically farm him entirely from there. You get a decent chunk of Z power from the missions for this event alongside the full power event as well. You'll just have to farm a decent little bit basically. Now in terms of the Gohan and basically the missions, pretty stock standard stuff. A lot of the time you're going to have to train him, you're going to have to raise his level, you're going to have to place him in a team, and you're going to have to obviously access his soul boost system as well. So raising his friendship level is traditionally the biggest thing that players need to do. And to do that efficiently, you're probably going to want to go to the Let's Fight upgrade events. Now, how fierce battles work is you have the first stage, the second stage, and the third stage, all of which are basically based on giving you Gohan at a certain level. You'll have to complete some challenges. These are traditionally quite easy. Most of them are reduced to using 2 units, doing vanish steps, switching, and cover changes. There's nothing too rocket sciencey about it. So these are relatively straightforward. You will have to place Gohan in a team. You can use any Gohan character though to fulfill the requirements. So if you don't feel like using this Gohan, maybe you just want to use a different one, you can. You don't have to actively use this Gohan, which is obviously something quite nice if you're someone who's not interested in just wants to obviously clear it straight away without having to train them or anything at first. Obviously that's pretty straightforward. Of course, like I say, a lot of the time you're going to need to train him, get him to max level. You're going to need to raise his friendship by doing the Let's Fight upgrade event, and you're going to need to do his soul boost system. All of this is very simple and won't take you too long at all. So you can just do all of that while you clear the first couple stages with a different Gohan, etc. It's not, like I said, anything too crazy. So you should be relatively solid and good to go. And so you shouldn't have any major issues when it comes to that. We'll skip ahead now to where we completed the first 3 stages. Very simple stuff. Like I said, using 2 or less characters, very, very straightforward. Vanish stepping, switching, nothing too wild. You'll see we have quite a few missions done. A lot of these are to do with raising his friendship from the Let's Fight event, his level, his soul boosting, and some of the challenges from the initial kind of like stage. So pretty good, nothing too crazy. Very, very, very simple basis upon which to work off of, which I think is ultimately at the end of the day pretty good stuff. Now, of course, you'll unlock 3 stages. One of them is the daily bonus stage, the second one is the equipment stage, and the third one is the challenge stage. Now, the daily bonus, which is the one we're doing now, is the easiest and most simple one because you can use the Rising Rush. It's a very, very straightforward combat scenario. You basically just have to take out the opposition enemy, and once you've done that, you'll be able to do the daily bonus stage. And you want to do this quite early on, because you want to have access to the ability to complete the missions around the daily bonus stage. So it's definitely something that you should consider when you are obviously taking it on. There's nothing too crazy, it's a 2-on-1 fight, so you should be able to handle it quite easily and quite sufficiently. It's not anything too wild. You just simply have to balance your characters and of course do a bit of vanishing step rotation, but realistically it's very, very straightforward. So honestly speaking, super duper simple time. For me, I think very, very easy. The daily bonus fight is always the easiest one. It gives you some medals that you can use to exchange for the gear pieces if you wish, but honestly speaking, again, nothing too wild here. Now, in terms of the rest, of the event, I want to say. Obviously the next step is to do the equipment stage. Now the equipment stage is a little bit different. The equipment stage obviously has a couple of challenges. Can't use your Rising Rush, etc. There are some limitations that occur when you are taking on the challenge stage, so you do need to essentially plan for these and work around these a little bit to a certain extent, and then you'll be able to handle things a little bit better. It's a 2v2 fight, so it is a little bit more complex, but it's nothing too crazy. Again, you should be able to handle it with ease whilst completing the challenges. It's really not that bad, if that makes sense. It's really a quite straightforward battle fight. Again, nothing too wild, nothing players should have a massive issue with, but of course something that players can potentially struggle with. For me, you shouldn't have any issues, so just make sure that you have 2 units that have type advantage, and then you should be more than fine. Ultimately, at the end of the day, it's nothing too serious, and completing this stage gains you access to farming the equipment. However, the equipment you can only place on Gohan when he is at 7-star plus, so he has to be at 2 red stars to be able to use the equipment, which is just one of those things, basically speaking. So definitely something to be aware of, but not something that you should lose your mind over, essentially. But yeah, very, very, very straightforward stuff. For me, super duper simple. And yeah, really honestly quite happy with the functionality of fierce fights. I think people know them by now. They're quite straightforward. And yeah, after this, your options are the challenge battle, which you can obviously give the best attempt to, or of course you can go and farm Gohan Z-Power from the hyperdimensional carb, which is also something that's obviously a great avenue to improving him. But yeah, that's it from me. Bye.